Hi guys, we're gonna continue where we left off from my last video. This will be part 2, I guess. KK's still on the stand, and she also was excused off the stand later in the afternoon, because in this video there are the 2 ranch hands. They call them teenage boys, but they're 18 years old, both of them, Carl and Samuel. They give their testimony of the events of the week before and during the time they were working at the ranch. And they are going to give some powerful statements. So we will continue from the events of KK's testimony. She also said that, Patrick's got friends everywhere, and she was too scared to go to the police. She was too scared to go to the police. Really? But you weren't too scared to tell your friends that he asked you to kill Kelsey. You wasn't too scared to tell people that. And she added, I loved and cared for him. He was my best friend. Yeah, he was your best friend, all right. He was your best friend, and you would do anything for him. Which you did. And you got caught. Because Patrick Freze made sure that you did. Because he has put you in the middle of it all. Not even in the middle. You are the number 1 suspect at the time, and you have testified, and you are testifying to all you know. And it looks like there's no surveillance of KK being at Kelsey's home. So did she really go there? Just saying. Now she's going to be cross-examined by the defense on this, because it looks like that there's no still photos, motion, surveillance of any kind. But we'll have to see how today goes by the end of the day to see if that is true. Hi guys, it's the 7th of November 2019. We continue the testimony of Crystal Lee Jean Kenny, known as KK. And she continues her testimony today on the stand. Now, she finishes up with the prosecutors and the prosecutor's state witness. But she also is crossed today. Yes, she was cross-examined by the defense team. And they let her have it. They questioned everything that she said and done, like we thought they would. And, they go into her plea deal, and she was nearly 2 hours of cross-examination, the public defender, Adam, questioned Lee. Well, because they call her Lee now. She doesn't go by Kenny, so I just call her KK. So we all know who we're talking about. And she changes her name like the weather. It seems like it. Whatever suits her at the time. It's a wonder she hasn't changed it to Fraze. But anyway, she was questioned about her plea deal. And this, they said, could allow her to skip prison entirely. Yeah, well, the defense isn't happy about it, and believe me, we're not happy about it neither. And they go on to say, you didn't plead guilty to cleaning up a big mess. You didn't plead guilty to throwing out Kelsey's belongings. You didn't plead guilty to cleaning up any blood, Adam said, the defense. You didn't plead guilty to sending any text messages from Kelsey's phone. You didn't plead guilty to answering any phone calls from Kelsey's phone. You didn't plead guilty to destroying Kelsey's phone. So this is kind of how they go on. So, and KK answered no to all of these questions that I have just read out. The day before she testified, this was yesterday, she testified on the 6th, that she did in fact come to Colorado after Fraze told her she had a mess to clean up, and that she sent messages to Fraze from Bear's phone. And what she said was an effort to detour the law enforcement. KK said, after driving back to Idaho, a 750-mile trip. She burnt Kelsey's purse and cellular phone. And even in September 2018, the first time Fraze had asked her to kill Barrett, KK admitted that she never called law enforcement in this case. KK said Fraze told her to go to Barrett's condo with the Starbucks coffee. So all that happened yesterday when the prosecutors put her on the stand. They're just going over some questions that she was asked yesterday and stuff like that. So they go on to say, you weren't charged with driving from Idaho to Colorado and buying a cup of coffee after Mr. Fraze told you to poison the coffee, Adam said, adding this could carry a decades-long sentence. He's asking the same questions we're asking, that's for sure. And I don't blame him, because she's a liar, in my opinion. And KK admitted she wasn't, but the one, Kavit. I didn't put anything in her coffee, KK said. Like she playing dumb now? I didn't put nothing in her coffee. Well, we don't know if you did or not. We don't know. It's just your word. She didn't drink the coffee. And during her testimony, KK said she had gone to Paris condo with a coffee to see what she's like in person, and admitted to making up a fake name and given her a burner phone number during the interaction. So this is another thing. She gave Kelsey a number, and it was a burner phone. Did Frazee tell her, whatever, to get a burner phone? How did she come up with that? How did she come up with that without being told what to do? But here comes another phone. It's a burner phone. And she made up a fake name. And later, KK said she texted Bereth with this number and asked her to coffee. And now she's asking her to coffee. She's asking her, inviting her for a cup of coffee. Once again. And guess what, guys? Kelsey Bereth refused. I think her radar was going up. Something wasn't right, because wouldn't you think that? A strange woman comes knocking at your door at 9 o'clock at night with a Starbucks coffee, and it happens to be your favorite coffee, and you get into some conversation, you make up a name, you make up a story while you're in the neighborhood, and then you ask her out for coffee. Yeah. So it goes on. She's being crossed, and by the defense, and she's asked about the coffee incident. Adam asked KK something he would ask her multiple times, just over and over and over and over, and see if she sticks to the same story, or how many times she can say it different. I don't know which one. You didn't tell anyone else in your family. You didn't tell any of your friends. Well, that's not true. Now, come on, defense. You know that's not true. She told her friend in turn told the lawyers, and so there was a few people that knew about it. And because we know those facts are out last year. You certainly didn't tell anyone in law enforcement, Adam said from the defense. And KK admitted she did not. During redirect examination, the prosecutor, Jennifer, she offered an explanation for why she never called the police. Yeah, well, we've heard that one. I was scared. I was frightened. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you know, she didn't look scared and frightened. No. I'll tell you what. If somebody could go to a ranch in the dark or whatever and watch a man burn a person's body, there's a gun right there. You're scared of this man, but yet there's a gun right there. Also, you said you changed your clothes. You changed your clothes. Now, how did you change them? Because one time you said you didn't bring clothes with you. I'm sure you said you didn't bring clothes with you. And You didn't bring no rags or nothing with you, but yet you changed your clothes. And you must have got naked and changed them and threw them on the fire. Yeah, you're disgusting. And you sat there and watched it burn. Yeah, you were scared. You were scared out of your mind. It's a wonder you weren't the next one and put on the fire too. Because I bet he would have liked that, to get rid of you as a witness. But he never did that. You're so lucky. You're so lucky because you're the one that's complaining that you were in fear for your life too, and you'd probably be next. And you went with him to Nass Ranch, to the ranch, to his home, and watched him do it all. You watched him do it all. And then you said you gotta go home because you have a party to go to. Just like that. Like you were roasting marshmallows on the fire. Not a care in the world. But anyway, she never did call the police. No, she didn't call nobody. I didn't think anybody would believe me. And it would be my word against his, KK said. I have already been there. I don't know if he had video of me. Well, you went there the first time. You went there the second time. You went there the third time. And then you were out of it. You was in Idaho, but you came down. So do you think he would have got video of you? What do you think? He was watching you? Maybe he was watching you. Maybe he was. But there's no evidence of him watching you. Not that we know of. And I didn't know what to do. Now this one is, KK is one crazy woman, right? She didn't know what to do. She's a nurse. What would she be like in an emergency? She don't know what to do. She's lying. The second time, KK said Frazee told her to murder Barrett on October the 15th, 2018. She said he gave her a metal pipe and told her to go to Barrett's apartment once again. Lee said she didn't go through with it and said she went to the gas station parking lot near Frazee's home. They asked her, you didn't call your ex-husband. You didn't call the police. You took a nap in the Conoco parking lot, Adams said. Yeah, she just took a nap. Yep. And KK agreed. She also agreed that after her nap, she went to Frazee's home. Yet once again, she's scared. But remember, guys, she's scared. She's scared, and she's out of her mind. But she's scared, but she's going. She's going anyway. And she went to his home and helped him with some housework. That's nice. She even helped him with the housework. And she took care of Kelsey's baby. Well, he went out to work. But remember, guys, when he came back, he criticized her about her housework. Oh, Lordy. And remember, that's when she said, then I realized, Kelsey must have been a good mother. Or something like that. He says to her, you also admitted to come into Colorado a week later with a baseball bat. During her testimony, she said Frazee had told her she needed to swing away. Swing away. You were not coming for any kind of softball tournament, Adam said. And KK said, no, I was not. You drove 750 miles with a baseball bat? Adam asked. There are no baseball bats in Teller County? Well, they don't have much cellular phone poles around for data. They did say that. Just messing. But anyway. And finally, Adam asked KK if the purpose of bringing the baseball bat was to kill Kelsey B. And KK said it was at Patrick's request. And once again, KK said she did not kill Kelsey. And she said she went back to Idaho. She said she didn't hear from Frazee again until November the 4th, when he told her to come back to Colorado. She refused and said she didn't speak to him again until the night before Thanksgiving. During her testimony, KK said she thought the conversation was normal and maybe an indication that Frazee had given up on the plan to kill his one-time fiancée mother. So she, goes over all that again. And the defense said, you have a 10-minute conversation with Patrick Frazee and think back to old times? Adam asked. So they just go over the same thing. November the 22nd, she said Frazee called her and told her she had a mess to clean up after getting the shift covered in the hospital, and loaded her car, cleaning supplies. Lee drove to Colorado. During her testimony, KK said before she embarked on the 12-hour drive, she didn't believe Frazee had truly committed the murder. She didn't truly believe, but in one statement she did believe that he had killed her. See, she changed the story a little bit by little bit by little bit. Maybe this is just another hoop to jump through for Patrick to show your loyalty, Adam said of the defense. This is why you didn't call the police. You didn't call. She didn't call her ex-husband. You didn't tell your friends and family. So he just goes on over and over again. And KK agreed. Basically, you think he's just tricking you into coming to Colorado, Adam said. Just in case it's not. You bought a hairnet? You bought a box of rubber gloves. You bought feet covers. You bought trash bags. You even bought your own bleach. Do you know what? This sounds like it was just a planned thing, doesn't it? In a way. Because she never did say she went out shopping for all this. But she had it ready. She knew exactly what to bring. She didn't even need to tell him what to do. Well, I don't know, because we don't believe what she says anyway. Well, we believe what's happening, but we're not truly if it was all his doing. That part. But we can't do nothing about it now because she's made a sweet ass deal with the prosecutors, and she truly has gotten away with murder, unless she can be charged with something else. She's not going to do no time, hardly no time, unless the judge decides that she was truly responsible for the solicitation, that the judge can throw 3 years at her, but that's all the judge can do. That's the max that she can get. She can get no time. She can get probation, halfway house. There's not much else they can do for her except ruin her career. And I hope that the family files a civil suit on her, because she is involved and they can sue her for every penny she's worth. You can't get them one way, get them another. And yes, she has kids, but she should have thought about that. But those kids have a father, and so he can take care of them. And let her go on her merry way, and she'd be broke for the rest of her life. I mean, what else punishment can he do for a murderer, alleged murderer? But anyway, so they go on to say, after leaving Fraze's ranch in Florissant and watching him burn a tote that contained Barrett's body, KK said she returned to Colorado. She said she first heard from the FBI while she was in Las Vegas with her family on December the 14th. Well, she said that yesterday, but they're going over it again today. Well, she was enjoying herself in Las Vegas, guys. Yeah. KK claimed she had left blood behind, like so the police could see, the law enforcement could get a clue. Yes, they could have a clue, and that's why she let Kelsey's phone ping in Idaho. Yeah, so she get called. Yep, Inspector Claudos. Inspector. Yep. She was leaving clues behind. She had that magnifying glass by her eye and was looking. I'm looking for a clue. I'm looking for a clue. I'm looking for a clue. But anyway, that's what she said she did. And then she claimed, like I said, she intentionally let Barrett's phone ping in Grand Junction in hopes it would provide a clue. Really? Is that what she said first off? Didn't she say that Patrick called her on Kelsey's phone and she got nervous about it and didn't like that, so she told him to call her on her phone, and then she turned Kelsey's phone off? Yeah, she said something like that. Yeah. But now she's changed it. That she did it deliberately. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. And then she admitted she didn't say any of this on the phone with the FBI. Well, we know what she said to the FBI. She first denied. She denied knowing Kelsey. She probably even denied knowing Patrick. You told the FBI at the time you knew Patrick, and you told him he's kind of your business partner. Now, Patrick's sort of a business partner with her. Right, yeah, because of the horses. right? That she said that she just bought. Okay. Remember, Patrick said, keep to the horse story. Keep to the horse story. But that's not the truth. You told them you didn't know Kelsey. That's not the truth. KK agreed. But you claim you left clues, hoping they'd figure out the truth. That's what you're telling us? Adam asked. KK agreed. Once again. On December the 17th, KK said the FBI showed up to her house in Idaho. She said she'd cooperate, but only after she had spoken to an attorney. And then Adam Presley, KK, about her decision not to speak to the police until after she had signed a plea deal. By the time you tell everybody, by the time you do that, you've got this letter and a plea deal from the district attorneys. Adam said, and KK said, yes, that is true. Drawing redirect with Jennifer, KK said she was afraid of Frazee and explained why she didn't tell her family, friends, or police about what had happened. But yes, she did tell them, didn't she? So she's kind of lying there, or is she telling half-truths? I didn't want anybody else involved. I knew that I was in a lot of trouble, and I didn't want anybody else in trouble as well, too. And then Jennifer also mentioned another part of the plea deal. Jennifer, the prosecutor, her star witness, KK, when you entered into this agreement, the number one thing is that this agreement was to tell the truth to law enforcement, to provide a full and complete statement of what happened to Kelsey Bereth, Jennifer said. Did you do that? And KK said, yes, I did. But just before the cross-examination, KK, she was shown pictures, photos of the ranch where she said Frazee stored Bereth's body in a black tote after the murder. She also claimed that after burning her body, Frazee said he had 2 ranch hands. You know those guys that were found at the waste management? He was spotted with talking to 2 guys, because the cops were watching him, or the investigators or the FBI were watching him, and they watched him go to the landfill, waste management, and he was with 2 men, and they drove different vehicles. Those may be the men that KK was talking about earlier in her statement about what Patrick said. He has other people, but they're too close in this situation. And that's probably because they are his hired hands on the ranch. And that's probably who Patrick was talking about, or KK was talking about. And so after burning the body, Frazee, he had 2 ranch hands, and help him load up the ashes. This is true, guys. they helped him load up the ashes. Boy, Patrick's got hired hands and helping him clean up his murder. He's got a nerve, doesn't he? My God. If that is true, that... Well, listen to this. After that, KK said, they must have asked, where do you think he put the body? Where do you think he put the ashes? Where do you think he put her remains? And she said, well, he was gonna take them to the landfill, and which he showed up at Waste Management, or to the river. Now, if you go, I don't know which river you're talking about. If you go take them to the river, I mean, if it's got a fast, if the river is running fast, I mean, there's just nothing left, is there? We know when people get cremated and you spread their ashes over on the ocean and stuff, they just float away, don't they? We know that. But after her testimony ended today, there were 2 ranch hands. These 2 guys, one's name is Kyle Ritchie. He said he helped Fraze move a rusted out horse trough on his property the weekend of Thanksgiving. Cleaned up ashes. He called them ashes. Now, why would he call them ashes? Why would you call them ashes? Did Fraze said he just burned a dog or a cow or anything like that? Because he called it ashes. And then cover up a burnt area with dirt. So there's a burnt area, and he helps him clear it up with some dirt. And then prosecutors showed a photo that depicted a part of the ground at the Fraze's ranch that appeared to have burn marks. And this guy was crossed by the defense, and Richie said that Fraze burnt trash on the property all the time. Well, yeah, you do, I guess. Yeah, you do. But in a certain area, you burn trash, right? Yeah, in a certain area only. And so they didn't find anything odd about it in particular. So, yeah. And then KK testified that Sheila Fraze, because she did say that Patrick's mother had been on the property's patio during the fire. When they were both burning Kelsey's body, alleged. That's what she says. The 2 ranch hands said the patio was visible from where they had moved the trough. So, like I said earlier in a video, that the mother had to have seen the fire because it was blazing. KK see the mother must have seen her. She must have seen them both, because there's a fire going, and his mother probably thought, what the hell is he doing? Having a fire right there in the middle of his little, where he trains his dogs to herd his cattle. You've seen the video. But the mother must have thought that was odd. She had to. This is why she pled the fifth and asked for immunity. And they didn't give it to her. Now, you don't need, if you see something and you thought that's odd, but then you go about your business, there's nothing to hide, is it? There's nothing to hide. You just thought, well, he has fires all the time, do you know what I mean? Or whatever. You wouldn't need immunity. But anyway, I was pleading the fifth, which that stops you incriminating yourself, doesn't it? That's why somebody pleads the fifth. But anyway, so that's what the ranchers said, Kyle Ritchie, and that's what KK said. The mother was on the porch, and so did the ranch guy, you know, the helper. He stated the same thing, that it is visible from where they burnt the tote. We will continue to the part where KK was telling them about the taupe, and she also showed the investigators the location where she and Frazee had parked their vehicles and where Kelsey's body was burnt. And the video was playing out, and Kenny looked away. But Frazee paid close attention, played close attention to this video that the investigators had on their cam when they took KK around her locations that day. So he paid close attention to that. And there's a second video that was shown to the jurors on Thursday, which showed KK explaining to the officers the contents of the garbage bags, or bag, that was also burnt on Frazee's property in fluorescent. I might get that right one day. I just might get it right. Kenny added she had thrown Barrett's Bible in the bag as well. She threw her Bible in there too. So, was her Bible full of blood? Or she just added that one, just thought, let's get rid of the Bible. I don't know, but... And then at this time, they take a break. After that, when the court resumed after lunch on Thursday, prosecutors showed an aerial photo of Patrick Frazee's property. They used that photo to demonstrate how Frazee moved the black tote containing Barrett's body from his truck to the water trough near the home, which it was near the home. It shows you on old videos of Patrick Frazee training his dogs and stuff like that. There's the troughs, there's the water troughs. And so they were watching, the jurors were watching that video, and where allegedly Frazee set the trough on fire with Kelsey's body inside a tote. Kenny explained where she parked at the time of the events and where Frazee allegedly destroyed that evidence. Oh, he destroyed that evidence. I think you did too. So, and then this is where she claims Sheila Frazee, Patrick's mother. This is where she says the mother did see her. Yeah. Remember, we wasn't sure whether the mother see her or not, but I was saying she had to have seen her. If you see her, she had to see you and the big flames. Yeah. This is why the mother pled the fifth and wanted immunity for whatever evidence that she was going to say. But it turns out I don't think, I don't know what his mother has said, whether she will be taking a stand for anyone. I don't know at this point. We'll see. We'll have to see as each day goes by. Because, we're always like a day late on this. And she said, KK said, that Patrick's mother saw her and saw the fire burning. Oh, and this is where, getting ahead of myself, Sheila is expected to testify. Ooh, Mama Frazee will testify. I wonder if she'll plead the fifth on the stand. I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth. Yeah, that's what she may be saying when the prosecutors start talking to her. Let's see what she says. Let's see how that one turns out. And it goes on to saying that Kenny said there was teenagers working around the property at this time of the fire. So this was done, I don't know what time during the day, but the hired hands were there when the fire was burning. He's got some nerve. He did it in broad daylight. He didn't care who was on the ranch. And he did all this knowing there's people around. Wow. Yeah. Well, these teenagers are probably from school, and they do odd jobs for people on the ranches, I guess, to help out. So now you've got the teenage boys. They call them the teenage boys, but I don't really know how old they are. They could be 18, 19, 20 before I know. Or they're still in high school. I'm not sure what the ages are. And so they were around at the time of the fire. And then the prosecutors asked if she looked at the tote when it was burning. Kenny said it was burning heap and it started to melt. It was burning heap and started to melt. She said she left while the fire was still burning. Yeah, she left while it was still burning because she said she got to get home because she got a party to go to the next day. Yeah, she was worried about the party. And this is when KK said she sent messages from Bear's phone the next morning, November the 25th, per Frazee's instructions. Kenny said that Frazee told her the fire burnt well into the morning. The fire burnt well into the morning. My God, he had that fire burning during the day and well into the morning. Wow. And that it needs to be taken to the dump. So this is where she got the dump from. And then she also said he could have taken it to the river. So, I mean, those conversations must have came up at some point for her to say that. Unless she's just making it up. She testified that Frazee told her he was going to get help from 2 boys. Which he did, didn't he? But these boys, these ranch helpers, were just there to help do jobs that he asked them to do. So they wasn't knowing it was a body at that time. But they did mention that they moved ashes. Now, that's what I said. Ashes. They used the word ashes. And she also said the boys didn't know what they were helping with. Well, yeah, they didn't. In the Wednesday's testimony, KK mentioned she told Frazee to use, and her in brackets, for what? In brackets, she's worth. Yeah. On Thursday, prosecutors asked her what she meant by that comment. Yeah, what do you mean by that comment? Kenny said it's something Frazee has said to her about his relationship with Bereth, that he only needed her to run errands and tend to his animals while he was away. So he only needed Kelsey's help, or even needed her to run errands and tend to his animals. He didn't love Kelsey. He didn't want to be with her. He didn't like her. In fact, he probably hated her. Because allegedly he killed her, murdered her, burnt her, made her vanish, and beat her with a bat to death. Now, in one of his comments that KK said, he said, it was very unhumane what he did. He said next time he'll use a conventional weapon. Yeah. She said that on Wednesday in her testimony, that Frazee said those words. And yeah, he used her to feed the animals while he was away. Where did Frazee ever go? Where did Frazee ever go? He went away. Wonder where he went, where he was going. Because he certainly didn't go away with Kelsey at any time, because she needed to feed his animals. He certainly didn't go away with KK, because, he ain't gonna travel all the way to Idaho to see her. He ain't gonna spend no money to see her, because all these 13 years that she's been in this goddamn off again, on again relationship, got married, had kids, and she never says he came to visit her. She was always going down to see him. Now that just shows you. That just shows you what kind of man he is. And then, at some point, the defense attorney, Adam, asked KK if she knew what the punishment was for her current charges, tampering with evidence. Various what she'd face for attempted murder versus what she would face for attempted murder. He pointed out that KK's possible sentence, a max of 3 years in prison, thanks to a plea deal with the prosecution, is very, very light than it would have been if she had been pegged for attempting to kill Bereth. Yeah, well, we agree with him on that. We were disgusted. A lot of people that watching this case is disgusted at what she was offered for the plea deal. Now, they could have came up with a little bit more than that, but they said they didn't have a case without her. Well, if they just waited a little bit longer, I think they could have got her, and she still could have been a witness, and she would have got a lighter sentence, but she would have done some time, like 10, 20 years. Yeah, but they hastily gave her a plea deal. Yeah. He said that she didn't give investigators much information until she had the chance to make a deal. That's right, she was lying up till then. She was lying, but when they came and talked to her, this is when she says, I will talk once I have spoken with my lawyer. Which she spoke to her lawyer, and her lawyer told her, we can make a deal, and this is what it's going to be. And you know what the outcome on that was. Her plea deal. The lowest possible felony they could give her. Level 6. It comes with hardly any time in prison. In fact, she may not serve one day. Discretion will be used by the judge. And the defense Adam just keeps asking her again. We're going over the same thing. Why, when Frazee called her to help clean up after Barrett's murder, she didn't tell anyone? He listed out every opportunity she had to tell someone, anyone, about what Frazee allegedly wanted her to do. Yeah, we know that. We know that. She said she didn't think he was capable of murder. Huh? What? Now that don't make sense, does it? That statement don't make sense. No, he wasn't capable of murder. That's why you were going to do it. Because he wasn't capable of murder. But yet, the plans were in place. Different scenarios on how to get the job done. The metal pole. The bat. The poison in the coffee. Things like that. But he wasn't capable of murder? Oh. Okay. And the attorney also brought up the fact that Kenny lied to Frazee about having an abortion. She lied to him? No, she just didn't tell him she had an abortion. She told him she miscarried, which is like an abortion, I guess. You know, but she lied to him. Yes, she did. She lied to him. So now they're going to say, what else are you going to lie about? Well, she's not lying about her testimony, but the point of how much involved she was, she could be lying about. Oh yeah, we don't know how much that she wanted to have her killed. I mean, some of this stuff could be made up, for I know. For before anybody knows. The fact that she didn't tell anybody about it. And the fact that she didn't tell anybody because she didn't want anybody else involved with it. Oh, yeah? Well, that's funny, because I think she's lying a little bit there. Remember, she took her aunt to the scene at one point to commit murder? Yeah. She went to Kelsey's home, KK and her aunt. Whether her aunt just went for the ride, she didn't know what she was doing. And then she told her friend. She didn't want nobody else involved. Oh, she's lying there. And then he ended up saying, so, for the last 10 hours on the stand is the truth and is what you need to stay out of prison. So he's more or less saying, the whole time you've been on the stand and talked about the testimony and is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I swear. She replied, it was the truth. And she doesn't know if she will be in prison. Ooh, she doesn't even know if she'll be in prison. Well, wait a minute. You could face up to max 3 years in prison. You could serve 6 months, 1 year, 18 months. It depends on the judge and what is proven. And whether he thinks that, yeah, you had something to do with it, but, the state the DA gave you a sweet-ass deal. And, this judge might be very, very angry about it. But then again, they had to agree to this plea deal. Everybody that's involved in making a plea deal has to agree with it. Yeah, she doesn't know. Well, I think she's thinking that she ain't gonna serve no time. And they're probably going to do everything to keep her out of prison. But let's hope that don't work. Let's hope the judge will throw the book at her. When the prosecutors asked why she didn't tell anyone about what happened that weekend on Thanksgiving 2018, KK replied, I didn't want anyone else involved. I knew that I was in a lot of trouble and I didn't want anyone else in trouble. The prosecutor asked if she wanted Freze to get caught, and she responded with a yes. Yes. After answering a list of questions from the jury, you see, because I guess in this Colorado, the jury can ask questions. They are given to the judge, and he reads them, make sure they're okay to be asked, and then he goes down the list. And after a list of questions, KK was excused for the day. She was excused for the day. So, is she coming back on the stand again? Is she coming back on the stand? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It says excused for the day, so that could mean anything, I guess. But next on the stand, as I talked earlier, the two hired hands, they took the stand after, KK testified Thursday afternoon. Well, he's 18. So Kyle Richie, he's 18 years old. He took the stand around 3:30 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. His parents were also in the courtroom. 18-year-old Samuel Dygert, D-Y-G-E-R-T, also testified and said he was best friends with Kyle. So two 18-year-olds, doing a job on the ranch, thinking they're doing good, doing what they're asked, and they've helped get rid of evidence. But it's not their fault. It's not their fault. But I bet you they're feeling bad. And now, what are they going to do next time they go on? Are they going to think, my God, is this a dead body? Is this a dead body? You've got them being paranoid. Poor kids. Traumatized by this. I bet they are traumatized by this. But Kyle said that he met Frazee through family friends 2 years ago. So he's known him for 2 years. Frazee hired him to be a ranch hand June or July 2018 into November with his first best friend Samuel. He was hired with him too. He goes on to say he was on Frazee's property for 5 to 6 days a week. He said he worked on fencing, vehicles, and cleanup. The prosecutor showed that Kyle showed him some various photos of Frazee's home. One of the pictures that the prosecutor showed was an aerial photo of Frazee's property. According to Kyle, the ranch hand, Frazee asked him to move the rusty trough the week before Thanksgiving and put the wooden pallets in the trough. My God, Patrick was setting up this a week before, and he wasn't even doing it himself. He got the hired hands to do it for him. Said the wood pallets were piled 4 feet high, and Frazee told him to do this and get things cleaned up. He said it had been there for the entire time he worked for Frazee. Because, he told him to clean up. So, this is what he told him to do. Move the trough and the pallets and pile them up 4 feet high. Well, he said he did that a week before Thanksgiving. But then he said, they had been there the whole time. So, one of the exhibits shown to the jurors was a map with circles drawn on it. By Kyle about where he moved the trough. So the circles were drawn by him to tell them where he moved the trough to. The trough with the wooden pallets was allegedly the one that KK said Frazee used to burn the black tote with Kelsey's body in it. Kyle said after Thanksgiving he could tell the pallets had been burnt and there was a burning stench. And he said Frazee confirmed there was a fire. There was a fire, and told him that the flames had gotten at least 3 feet high. There was a fire, and the flames got 13 feet high. And he had told him that Frazee told him his mother came out to the porch. The flames got 13 feet high. Oh, so it was an accident. It was an accident that there was a fire? There was a fire and it was an accident? And then the ranch hand said there was also a new silver garbage can. A new silver garbage can. And said it was 2 feet away from the burnt pallets. He didn't know what was inside. And he helped Fraser put the garbage can into Fraser's truck. So there was a brand new silver garbage can. He didn't know what was in it, but he helped Fraser put it in his truck. So now we know where she was put after. He goes on to say, the trough looked clean. He said the trough looked cleaned out when they grabbed the garbage can. He said, Fraser asked him and Sam to move the trough into the cattle trailer and said the trough was warm. See, guys, the trough was warm. Yeah. And then he said they brought the trailer to the dump station, throwing out the trough. I want to know what happened to this trough. Now, these hired hands, they're the ones seen on surveillance when we said they were, they must have been watching Fraser, watching his movements, and he was with 2 people, two young men, and with Fraser, and he was seen talking to them, and they were doing something. Well, they said they took the trough and took it to the dump. And at the waste station. And then, both Carl and Sam said that this happened. Well, what happened to it then? What happened to it? Did somebody take it? Did somebody take it? Said, my God, I could do with this, and took it to their home? If that's the case, somebody should call the police. Say, hey, I have this trough. But anyway, just a suggestion. Carl said he filled in the spot where the trough was once with dirt. And then he also asked about a picture. Asked what a picture was. And he said it was... he was asked what the picture was. I said, I guess they're pointing to it. And he said it was dirt that was used to fill the spot Fraser requested. Fraser told him to make the spot look pretty. Make it look pretty. What does that mean? Plant some flowers? Put some grass on it? Make it look pretty? And then he continues to say, he said that was the only time there was a fire and that he had to clean up after a fire. That was the only time. So there was no other fire any other time. So, that's convenient, isn't it? Well, Fraser's defense attorney asked if he saw or smelled burnt plastic. And he said no. But it was only a tote. You're not going to be smelling burnt plastic by this time. The fire had burned all day, all night. He had put oil on it. He had put gas on it and wood. So that would overtake the smell of plastic. Anyway, that was that. And more witnesses are expected to take the stand on Friday.
her grandchild.